What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Heart of the City 129. And we got a lot to talk about because we got a team playing for a championship right now. Knicks and Spurs in action. We're going to get into that. Giants making moves. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the Jets OTAs. We're going to talk about these baseball teams. And we got a special dad edition of Culture segment. But before we get into that, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And before we get started, man, what's going on, Coach, man? How you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm excited, ready to rock and roll.
All right, man.
I had to bring out the bling bling today.
Yeah, I see that. Mm-hmm. Daniel Berry Sports, man. What's good with you, man? Happy Wednesday, man. Happy Wednesday to you too. Right now, man, Knicks down, man. Knicks down by 7 to the Spurs, man. But we're gonna get into that in just a little bit. Coming right back, man, with all the action. Like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's get into it.
Ricey K, the Raisin Man.
Man, we are back, man. Back in action, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Yeah, we're gonna get into this, man. Finals going on right now. Like I mentioned, we're gonna recap this a little bit later. So gonna hold the Knicks news just a little bit. But we will give updates and around the city here coming up, man. But Coach, how you feeling, man, about the Knicks so far?
Always been feeling good about the Knicks. Very confident. I feel that they're going to go out here and they're going to do their thing, and looking forward to seeing what the end results will be.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. So we're gonna hit these blocks, man. We're gonna go around the city and tap in with all the area teams. And like I mentioned, we'll get into the Knicks a little bit later. Got some football things to go on. OBJ is back, so we're gonna get into that, man. But let's go ahead and hit it, man. Around the city.
I want the power. But I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power. But I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power. But I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power. The love and respect first.
All right, man. So going to get into this real quick, man. We're going to start with the baseball. So let's go ahead and get into the Mets real quick.
New York Mets.
All right, man. Mets beat the Mariners 7-1. My bad. Mets beat the Mariners 7-1. Bichette had 4 hits, 3 RBIs. So Freddie Peralta, 6 strong innings, and the Mets get the dub against the Mariners. The Mets heating up a little bit lately. So Mets now 27-35, still in last place. But again, they starting to get it together a little bit. But let's get to the Yankees real quick.
New York Yankees.
All right, man. Yankees lose again to the Guardians. And this is something I'm going to talk about a little bit later. This team is struggling against teams against 500 right now. Garrett Cole touched up 5 1/3. 6 hits, 4 earned runs. So not a good look right there for Garrett Cole. But you know, he did start. First couple starts were good, but not so much this time around. But yeah, Yankees gonna have to do better, man. Yankees gonna have to do better. But let's get into the Jets real quick. I got some Jets news.
New York Jets.
So the Jets have released, have signed kicker Jason Sanders, the dude that got cut from the Giants. So Giants lose their kicker. Jets gain a kicker. So there's the battle of the kickers. Young Ho Koo is out. Thankfully for Jets fans and all fans of football. You don't want that dude kicking at all. For real. But all right, Giants news.
New York Giants.
All right, man. OBJ is back. So that is the big news. Everyone talking about it. OBJ at OTAs. OBJ OTA. Get it? Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. Back with the Giants. So there's that. But all right, I got some hockey stuff here. So I want to start with
NHL.
The Rangers are looking to deal Vincent Trocheck. Vincent Trocheck, the center for the Yankees, longtime Ranger, longtime Ranger, center for the Ranger, Vincent Trocheck. So looking to maximize his return as he is one of the better players on the team. So Rangers are in a rebuild. A lot of these teams rebuilding and retooling and need to get some dubs. But let's go to the Islanders.
NHL.
Islanders, man. They're looking to trade Andres Lee. So there's that. Well, he's looking to prepare to hit free agency, but I guess they're not going to keep him. So maybe they could get something for him. I don't know. But these hockey teams making moves, as a lot of these teams are. Devils also making moves. Devils legend Patrick Elias is getting a general manager role for a overseas team. Getting a general manager role for an overseas team. It's reported here. Yeah, so well, it's in a different language. I don't know what that is. But anyway, whatever that team is, he's getting the Czech team. There it is. GM of the Czech national team. So there you have it. That is around the city.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, we are back at it, man. So I did want to talk about I did want to get into the football stuff, man, before we get into the Knicks, man. This game right now looks like it's going to go here a while. Right now, we're in the third quarter. Knicks down 13. So, Knicks down 13 to the Spurs. And again, we'll tap into that later. But let's let me get this up real quick. And let's talk about the Giants here a little bit, man. Oh well, no, there's too many images in there. All right, I'll have to share. Well, I just won't do a share screen. We'll just talk. Giants sign Odell Beckham Jr. How you feeling about that, man? Dead crowd tonight, man. What is it? Alive. What's going on here?
No. I had muted for a second. Sorry. I mean, with the three receivers they brought in, I mean, you know, they're being brought in, battle it out, and we'll see what happens. Whether, you know, they push others out the window or others step up and make the cut. You know, Odell Beckham, you know, it's nostalgic. You know, he's coming back, and I get it. You know, a lot of fans are excited, and that's fine. You know, can it become a storybook ending? We'll see. But you know, I'm not expecting him to be the Odell Beckham Jr. of old. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. He's, you know, 33 years old, been out of football a little bit. You know, so but he's a veteran and he knows how to go out there and be professional. So, you know, and you know, if he makes the roster, depending on where his positioning is, whether he's a fifth position or if he makes it as a starter, you know, just hopefully he can contribute to the team. That's ultimately what it boils down to.
Yeah. I think on my share screen. There we go. I was saying that too, though, Coach. Like, this whole time I was thinking that the Giants were gonna need to add to the receiving core. Now, you lost Gunner, right? Neighbors, now they saying he might miss the first 8-9 games. So I think this impact right here is something to be talked about. And a lot of, you know, some fans are downplaying it. Some fans are hyping it up. But I do think there's going to be an impact here. Now, people saying, is he going to make the roster? Do you think he doesn't make the roster?
There's a possibility. There's nothing guaranteed. He signed for a vet minimum, and you know, coach has already said, you know, we'll see, and you know, he's gonna, you know, come in and compete. You know, I mean, when you hear compete, I mean, it's just that he's going to compete for a position. It's not saying that he's guaranteed. So, you know, I mean, it could be him, it could be Juju Smith, it could be Barrios, it could be all three of them, it could be two of them. You know, so and you know, could they be brought in as a precaution? You know, just like you said with neighbors. Yeah, okay. As far as neighbors, you know, look, you know, I get it for this year, but you know what? If you got to go slow with him for the future, I'd rather you go slow with him. And you know what? These guys come in, see what we can get out of them, and then keep it moving. I mean,
Yeah.
they signed for 1 year vet minimum. That tells me everything I need to know. And I'm not trying to diminish what he can bring to the table. Please don't think
Mhm.
that's what. But I'm also, you know, you said impact.
Mm-hmm.
Do I expect him to be an impact player? Sorry, no.
Mm-hmm.
Can he be a contributor? Yes. But when I think of the word impact, I'm talking about, you know, he's going to be key. Maybe he's going to be getting 800, 900 yards, maybe 1,000. No, I can't.
Oh nah, yeah, nah,
Yeah, I'm
not
not
like that.
expecting him to, you know, but can he be a contributor? Can he get you 4, maybe 500 yards? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's cool. You know, and that's the impact you're talking about. Yeah, he can be impactful in that manner, but you know, do I expect teams to roll coverage to him all the time and have to always have multiple eyes on him? Sorry, no. You know, can he make a play here and there? Yeah, and that's what I hope he does. But like I said, he's not the Odell Beckham Jr. of old, so I'm not expecting a massive impact. I mean, contribution is more the word I'm looking for. I would think he would bring to the table.
Mm, true that. True that. Um. So, do you feel like maybe some of the other guys they brought in Barrios, um, Juju Smith-Schuster, um,
Mhm.
Slayton's still there, because somebody's gonna have to carry the load.
Yeah, no, of course, of course, of course.
See what I'm saying? So, what in your estimation,
Mhm.
if it's not Beckham, I guess what I'm saying is who?
Who's the number one? To be honest with you, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but it's gonna have to be all of them, in a sense. Now, look, Odell Beckham can come in and he can play out his ass, and guess what? He is that number one. And I hope I'm wrong, but um, I find it difficult for a receiver who's been out of the year for a little bit, who's in his early mid 30s, to come in and be the old type of player that he is. And it's going to have to be a multitude of the players. You know, if you want to say Darnell Mooney might be the number one, okay, I could see that. But I think it's going to have to be more, all of them being contributors. And, you know, maybe it's going to be likely is the number one target. See, and I know in today's day and age, it's more about the target, you know, who gets the most targets. You know, do I expect Odell Beckham Jr., you know, in the course of a game, you know, if you're passing, say 25, 30 times, is he going to get 10 targets? I'm sorry. No, I don't think so. You know, can he get 5 to 8? Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's going to be all of them. And it might be spread out a little bit, you know, but again, he might between training camp, between the OTAs and into training camp, he might take off, and I hope he does. But I can't, you know. And again, we signed Mooney, we signed Austin. Now you're bringing in 3 other receivers. Well, Barrios, I'm kind of in the back of my head thinking he's more of the returner, you know, because that's what he does well. So
Yeah.
And
I like Braxton Berrios though. I do, yo. You remember when he played for the Jets? We was talking about it. You remember on this show? So it's ironic, man. He's back in New York now, but with
And
the
he's going to be
Giants.
he's filling in for Gunner. Look, he's going to be that
Yeah,
return guy and
yeah.
come
I think
in
he makes the team. Yeah, I
and
think he makes the team.
exactly. So that's where he's cutting his rug on the specials and then being a back end receiver coming in on occasion. So
I don't think Hyatt, Hodgins, I don't think none of those guys are gonna make it. So I think it does come down to kind of, if you want to say Beckham and Juju Smith-Schuster for that last spot, maybe that's what it's going to be.
now
But
again, if
because
whatchamacallit
Neighbors
is
is
out,
going on pup,
yeah, exactly.
that's
He's
what I'm
on pup,
saying.
so
So
it's going to open up a spot.
yeah,
So
exactly.
they both might make it in that regard, just as as a
Depends on how
precaution.
many they see, how
I
many
think
they
I
keep
think
though.
he alluded to 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, he
So
said 6 receivers are going to make this team.
he came out and actually said that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But I
that's
think
what I'm
it's
saying.
7 because Barrios will be the kick returner.
Mm-hmm.
And also, my bad, fellas. I didn't mean to cut it in. I was just
No,
information. But as far as the receivers go, Austin, Mooney, Malachi Fields, Neighbors when he gets back. Those are 4. Then you got Slayton, Beckham, Juju, Barrios. And I think you're right. It might come down between Beckham and Juju. And if Juju accepts a practice squad when Neighbors gets back, I think that's what happens. So one of them may get cut, or he may just keep 7 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I'm excited to see Juju because I know he can be that bully in the middle of the field, besides Isaiah Likely and Theo Johnson. So it just depends on how they want to attack. If they want a wide open attack, Juju will play that week. But fellas, go ahead. That's just my opinion. My bad.
Yeah. Definitely, man. I do think that though, bringing him in, I always look at the optics of things. I know y'all won't like to deal with the X's and O's, but I just think the optics of this, I think he makes this team because you bring him in, you get everybody hyped up. He's on a vet minimum. If you think he can offer you anything, and preseason is going to be key. I'm gonna want to see these guys play in the preseason. I know Harbaugh's going to put them out there. That's something he did say as well. So I think preseason is going to be key. But I think if he shows you anything now, if he's out there dropping passes and falling down routes or can't get separation from third teamers, is essentially what they'll be playing against. Maybe some second team. We'll see how it goes. But if he looks bad, then yeah, ain't no way. But if he looks like he can give you anything, according to what you need out there, as far as somebody that can kind of play a role for you in the offense, maybe not the number one like you said, but he can play a role for you. I think they do keep him. Now, here's something to consider too. Would they trade Darius Slayton?
No, it could be, because that's money that you can also save depending once you look at the cap hit, how much money you're saving off of that, because that's another factor that they're adjusting, with Thomas's contract. So those are factors that we have to put on the table. It's not off the table. So, that is a factor. So, and this staff is not tied to him. So they may just say, yeah, let's go ahead and trade him.
Yeah. Him getting that core muscle injury doesn't help his cause. Even though, you know, they expect him to be ready, but he's not out there right now. So I think there is a good chance that he that Beckham is on this team. But I'm not gonna get into the OTA practice. We'll say that for Giants conversation. Right now, Knicks update. Knicks down by 2. 71-69 Spurs, 2:52 left in the third. So we'll keep you updated on that game, and of course we'll give you the rundown on everything that's happening. I'm trying to keep my eye on some of it. But tap in the man cave right now on the network, giving you the game call play by play. All right. I do want to get into the Jets here in a second. Give me just a second here. All right, so this was one of the articles you sent me, Coach. 6 things we learned at Jets OTA practice. Now, with the Jets here, matter of fact, I got a. Let me pull up, because I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm kind of high on this Jets team. As far as I think they can actually do something. But I wanted y'all to hear Eddie Mitchell. All right, here we go. Play this clip of. I think Aaron Glenn is establishing a culture here, so that's why I want y'all to hear this. Hold on. All right.
You're a young player. You still. How challenging is it for you? You're a young player. You still, I think, only 23, to now have to learn a third offense in such a short period of time early in your career. What kind of challenges does that create?
Man, what don't kill me make me stronger. So I gotta just work on attacking everything, attacking every day, not really worried about the circumstances, but more so worried about, you know, how I make my circumstances and, you know, how I make the best out of each and every day. So yeah, I just say it just comes with it, I guess.
How challenging is it for you? You're a young player. You still only 23.
So he talks right there about learning his third offense. You know what I'm saying? And because, you know, having a new coach right here, man. But when you think about him and Garrett Wilson, you know, and then they drafted what's my man's name?
What you call from Indiana?
Yeah, Omar Cooper Jr.
Omar Cooper.
There it is, yeah. Omar Cooper. So when you put them 3 together, I mean, if this kid can, you know, you heard what he said there, you know, about attacking, you know, so if he can get right, if they can get developed, him and Omar Cooper Jr. with Garrett Wilson, with Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end, and Mason Taylor, I think you got the makings of a team that can compete. What you think?
I agree with that. I mean, the defense I think is going to come around. So it's about the offense. You have a quarterback who is better than what they've had for the most part these past few years, and that includes Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers is no slouch. I'm not going to sit here and say that, but I think Geno definitely gives a little bit something more. Because he is just slightly younger, but and he knows this franchise, so he's familiar with New York. He's not afraid of it, and you have talent around you. You have good running backs, you have tight ends, you have a decent offensive line. If these receivers come in and really own, it opens up this whole offense, and you're not going to be able to load the box in the run game because sometimes you might have to play too high. And then, like I said, defensively, you can play complementary football. And that's ultimately what any coach, it doesn't matter what level, that you really want. You want to be able to play complementary football. And looking at what the Jets have done, I think they have a team that complements each other. Now defense does have to come into play, but they brought in some talented guys there, and they have some veteran guys there. So, and ultimately, to me, it's going to be about their defensive line more than anything. It really is. What they can get from their defensive line, and those two young edge rushers. There you go. New York, maybe a city on the edge in a sense. So you got those edge rushers in both.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. I do, like I said, I do like what the Jets are doing. And they could be a sleeper team. I'm gonna put my sleeper team list together here soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they could possibly make that. So this was a voluntary OTA, and Aaron Glenn was encouraged by the participation. So that's the number one thing right there. And I think when you talk about Aaron Glenn, he got a lot of heat for last year, and then they supposedly caught him sleeping at the combine or whatever. But I think he's starting to put his stamp on this organization, man. I really do. He's got a young group, and he got all the guys out there that, didn't want to be there. And now you got a draft, you got an off season to really take that next step, man. Definitely think they're winning more than 4 games. I think that's what they won last year. So, but Demario Davis is one of the standouts at Jets camp. Linebacker Demario Davis. So they're gonna need him with that run defense, coach. Because you looking at who you got in that division. The Patriots, they're gonna want to run the ball. The Bills, they run them. We'll see what Miami does, but they got Malik Willis, so they're going to probably try to get back to running the football too. So yeah, linebackers is key, man. What's your thoughts on that position, coach?
No, linebackers are definitely key. They're the heart and soul of every defense, to be brutally honest with you. So and you're going to need to, like you said, in terms of the run game, but you know what, it's also being able to give you something at times in the pass coverage, because with New England now making that big trade, that's going to open up their offense. So there's going to be times where you're going to need the linebackers, whether it's riding with the tight ends or staying with the running backs on occasion. You're going to need them to step up and make a play here or there. So, and what Buffalo does and how they, the talent that they have over there, and like you said, the Dolphins. I know everyone says that and sees them as probably one of the worst, if not the worst team in all of the NFL. But I
It
mean,
might be the Cardinals. I don't know.
exactly. So
And
but
now the Browns, man. I mean, they gonna be.
yeah, we
I mean, off subject, man. I mean, we could just talk, man. I mean, let's get conversations going. It don't have to be dialed into everything New York, man. And this does affect the whole league, man. The Myles Garrett trade. I mean,
bro, when I saw it, I was just like, the Rams are really. I'm like, what the. And look, I know the rumors about Aaron Donald maybe coming back, and
how can you? I feel like you got to do like a what David Stern did when he wouldn't let Chris Paul go to the. I feel like at some point you got to be like, nah.
Well, they own Donald's contract, so
I know because he retired.
Yeah. So if they want to bring him back, it's just. Myles Garrett, trade is official, so he's a Ram. So if you bring
all Aaron Donald got to do is step on the field. That's crazy.
Well, what I was getting to is with his contract, can they afford it? So there still would have to be some finagling, or can they find the money?
Gonna make it work. Yeah, they gonna make it work.
I'm just like this. When I first heard it, I was
somebody getting cut or traded.
You got him over there, that offense, and now you bring in Garrett. I'm like, damn. So it's just like, I mean, I get LA, they going for it.
That shit wouldn't even be fair, man.
I mean, it's like, bro, first of all, congratulations.
If you put Aaron Donald and that man on the same defensive line, we are going to get crushed. Week 2. Oh my God! What are you gonna do?
Everybody gonna get crushed. What you talking about? It ain't just the Giants. Any team that play them is gonna get crushed on that line. Your quarterback gonna have to hide.
You got to run the ball against them. You got to run the ball for a quick short passes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That short passing game. Hike.
And you got McDuffie there. Don't forget about him. So he's.
And that's what I'm saying. Their corners, if their corners can lock your man, what you gonna do?
Yeah, no,
make you one dimensional, and they just gonna stack the box.
Said, it's over. If we look at it for week 2, it's like with Donald or not, that defense is just.
Yeah, that's an L for the Giants for sure.
Yeah, we gonna have a major problem that game, bro.
That's an L. Yeah. You got a rookie right guard. I mean, I love CC, man, but this is a different beast, bro. And John Michael Smith.
Yeah, and look, they
Thomas gonna fight, but Myles Garrett, that's Myles Garrett. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some against him. But
the Rams
that middle is over.
They did not know how good Aaron Donald was until they took a look at every play he played last year. And I was just like, y'all ain't know he was that good. But, when you really think about it as a team, you're not that dialed in. You may get some film and you have, of course, when you play them, you get a general. But when you look at every play, it opens your eyes and you start to see a whole lot more. So,
yeah, definitely. Knicks with a 3-point lead right now. 80-77 in the 4th over the Spurs. The Knicks are fighting because that Spurs. It looked like the Spurs were going to take off on the Knicks there for a minute, but they calmed that down, and now the Knicks with a 3-point lead, man. But still a lot of time left. Lots of time left. We will keep our eyes on that one. Anything else here with the Jets? Let's take a look. So yeah, Kenyon Sadiq. We did mention him. 16th overall pick, bro. Like we can't ignore the fact that the Jets. 1, 2, 3 first round picks. So you add 3 first-round picks to that team, and this tight end right now, coach, tell me if I'm lying. Why all these teams going to these tight ends and these 2 tight end sets?
I mean, it's a way of offsetting.
Game.
It helps the run game, but it also the middle of the field. You're attacking teams in the middle of the field, and the best way sometimes. I know everybody wants to talk about the slot receivers, but sometimes it's about the tight ends, because the tight ends can, depending on how the build of your players. I mean, they tend to be a little bit bigger, and they can be in line. They can run crossers. They can run up the seam, so it makes it easier for the quarterback. And when you have 2 of them, how do teams match up? Because this is also about creating mismatches. So, look, this is something that has always been in going back to when I was, even playing a little minor league semi-pro. I mean, teams went with 2. I mean, I still remember the Indianapolis Colts with Edgerrin James, and they would sometimes go 2 tight ends with Manning back there. So, and you get your stretch action with your tight ends coming to crosser, fake it, come with a naked boot. And, we see it now, and, with the split zone action. So it opens up it does help to open up your offense. It's not always just about a multitude of wide receivers, because if it was all about the wide receivers, everybody would have been doing it, going back to the days of the old run and shoot with Warren Moon and the 4 wide receivers. You wouldn't have any tight ends. So, it's just something that always comes back in my opinion. So,
True that. So, then you got these 2 running backs, Brees and Braylon. So
these might be the killer bees.
They're gonna the Jets should be able to run the football, especially when you talk about that offensive line. You got what was it? Armand Membu. And what's the other tackle? Oh, they got both of them tackles got. Let me pull up the Jets roster real quick. Let's do what we do. But Membu and I think it's not. Is it Fashano? No. What's that tackle's name, man? Y'all don't know it?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to look at myself.
There's Membu and who else? Now my damn thing I want to pull up. Whatever.
No, just bear with me. I'm looking at.
I got it. Fashano, yeah, I was right. Olu Fashano. Fashano. Yeah, Fashano. Olu Fashano. And then they got Parham at left guard. And then they got Titman and Membu on the right side. So again, I think that's pretty good. I think a lot of this does hinge on Geno Smith. Can Geno go in there and not be a turnover machine? Because I mean, I'm looking around the roster, man. They got plenty of talent to really go out there and do something. They're not that bad. These 2 running backs right here, though, man. What do you like about them, Coach? This tandem.
You can run pretty much any type of concept, whether it's inside, outside zone, a gap scheme, power. With Brees, Braylon is the inside type of a running back. Brees can also catch out of the backfield, so he does give you versatility, along with a dynamic approach to his running game. So, and I think they're going to be able to help them control the clock.
No No doubt, man. No doubt. All right, we're gonna I want to get into this Yankees thing here real quick. Let me get some cuz couldn't put any more images in the so I have to do it a different way. More than one way to get things done. All right. Yankees, man. Coach, Yankees struggling versus 500 teams, man. 3-10, as I mentioned. Losing to the Guardians, 5-4. That's 2 in a row to the Guardians. They lost 9-4. The other day. They're 1-4 against the Rays, I believe. I mean, is this concerning, man, for you?
Not just as yet. I mean, with baseball, because there's so many games. I mean, I get it. But it's only 13 games. It could easily turn around later in the season. So, but I get it. You know, you don't want to set a trend, especially, you know, if you do make the playoffs, because guess who you're playing? The better team. So, you know, you're definitely going to need to step up and handle your business. But, you know, I was also looking at it, you know, through everything that we're struggling with, they're half a game out of having the best record in the AL. So it's a catch-22, you know. So you know, but yes, we do need them to step up. Aaron Judge is also not here, so you know that's another thing that that factors into that. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah, this guy's always hurt, man. Him, Stan, these guys can't. I mean, gosh almighty, man. I understand you can't help. I guess you can't help it, man. But it's kind of like, golly, man. Like, you know, your best ability is availability, right? So, it's man. But I think this is concerning, and here's why. Because you talked about the record, but how many of those wins against bad teams?
That's fair. That's fair.
So you're not going to play those teams in the playoffs.
But all right, you say it's concerning, but what level is your concern? I mean, how high is it when you really think about it? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put it?
Right now, probably like 5, 6.
See, I'm at about 4 or 5. So because it's 13 games. That's the reason why I'm looking at it. It's like, okay, we still have our division. Yes, it's our division. Our division is still tough, like you said. The Guardians, Seattle out west. I don't know who else is, where everybody is. Let me take a look here. Major League Baseball standings.
You behind Tampa. You're a game behind Tampa. Guardians are
the White Sox, the Rangers.
The White Sox. The White Sox. Oh,
so
wow.
It's a catch-22. So
the AL, the American League is bad.
Well,
Holy smokes.
When you really look at it, all of baseball,
it's bad. It's like it's the Rays, Yankees, Guardians, and the rest are kind of like barely above 500.
West is good. Yeah, the West is good. So let me take that back.
The NL though, I mean, you got the Braves, you got
the
Brewers, you got the Dodgers, Pirates, Phillies.
No, you're right about that.
Yeah, because the Astros are down this year, and the Red Sox are down this year. That's why the NL is back. I mean, the American League. So the Yankees do gotta. What we talked about with the Knicks, like you actually got a path just based on the conference being weak. You know, so but who you losing to? You losing to the Rays and the Guardians. Those are the two teams you got to go through. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I also say it's still early. That's what for me it's 4 or 5. You know, it's more probably closer to 4. You know, because like you said, 300 in terms of your winning percentage versus plus 500 is not good. But it's also still early. You know, you had your pitchers who are just coming back. Aaron Judge is out. Stanton is out. So it's like, okay. But, when we get closer to August, in August, then, to me, I want to rehash this and take a look at where they are versus the same 500 plus teams. And let's see what they're doing at that point in time, because it may be a moot point, or it could boil over and become a big issue. So, but it's fair to say 4 or 5, 5, 6. I get it.
Yeah, true that. So I'm gonna get into the Brooklyn Nets here in just a second. All right. And so Pat, we had talked about, remember we talked about Nate Emmett.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it looks like they're looking at him. So
I told you. I told you.
So Nate Emmett is gaining buzz as being linked to the Nets. And the reason is because he's 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan. In my opinion, that's what the reason is. Because all the other prospects in the range of being picked at 6 are gonna be guards. I talked about this when the draft lottery happened. So Nate Emmett, there's the kid right there, with his coach at Tennessee. Now he averaged, I think 16 and 6 last year for the Volunteers. And they like him to fit alongside Jay Gordon. So here's where I'm at with this, and why I'm bringing this up here on Heart of the City. Y'all hit the like button, please. This seems like a reach. It seems like a reach. Close these tabs down. It seems like a reach, and I don't think the Nets can be in any position to be reaching for a player. And if Emmett was your target all along, cool. But to me, it just feels like, okay, you missed out. You're gonna miss out on getting those top 4, which what I talked about. So now, since you can't get a big, you're just gonna take a big man. It's like just taking. You're not taking the best player available. You're taking need, in a sense, and that's what this feels like. What do you think? You think?
Go ahead.
I mean, do you think it's a reach, or do you think they're going for need here? Is what I'm saying.
Because I really don't know this kid that well. I mean, to be honest with you, this is the first time I'm hearing about this kid, so I really can't speak on his game per se. It sounds like it is a reach, especially at the number 6 pick. Yeah. I haven't heard, but again, I'm not really following the draft like I should be doing, where every player stands. But
yeah, a lot of mock drafts have him going like 11th, 12th, and somewhere in those ranges.
That sounds like a reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. But I just thinking about this Nets team though, Coach. It seems like they're taking a lot of L's here. And what I mean by that is not only the losses you took in the regular season, but also the fact that you lost the draft lottery. If the Knicks win a championship, you essentially lost the Mikal Bridges trade. You don't have a bona fide superstar on your roster because you lost or traded the ones you had. So like they taking a lot of L's, bro.
I mean, you're the resident Nets fan, bro, and I gotta digress to you in this regard. So, because you follow them a lot closer than I do, and I mean, just like you said,
I'm bringing up though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I got you. Right. I'm just saying, based on what you said, he's projected 11 and 12, and now I understand doing your due diligence. There's one thing to do that, I get it.
And that's what this could be.
And maybe this kid, there's a hidden thing there's something that a lot of prognosticators and scouts are really not identifying. I mean, like I said, I don't know the kid. I don't follow Tennessee basketball, so I might catch a game here or there. But but again, in the same token, when you hear the top names, no matter what, whether you were deeply invested or not, and I haven't heard about this kid, so
it seems again seems like a reach. I would be disappointed if they passed on a guard just because they're saying, well, we got too many guards, we need to take a wing. That's what this feels like. Because you got all those guards.
Why not trade since you have so many guards? Why not trade and get something?
Because our GM's an idiot.
You always say that.
Straight up, bro. He's the worst GM by far in this city. And Giants fans bitched him on about Joe Shane. He can't hold Joe Shane's shoes, bro. All the move this dude then messed up on. Because you looking at this team, and again, I'm just gonna point out who they had on this squad, and then look at who they had now. And all you got is all these picks, but what are you turning the picks into? Nothing. Those guys last year, what's the name? Doman and Traore and Saraf, Danny Wolf, Drake Powell. They're young. They need to be developed. I'm not going, poo-poo them right now, but ain't none of them show you no high level potential.
Fair.
So again, you don't got no star in the building. Michael Porter Jr. can score, but he's not a one. He's not somebody you're gonna really build around. He's more like your Robin. So you ain't got that guy. And to me, that's what a lot of the Nets conversation comes in at, because they are going to be looking to bring in a star. You can't tank next year. They changing the lottery, and you don't have your first round pick. So they don't have a first round pick next year. They don't. It goes to Houston. So that's why I'm saying this team is taking a lot of L's.
What picks did you get from us? Because we have a draft pick this year.
Next year, they don't have their pick. They don't.
Okay, I got you. No, their own pick. Okay.
Pick. Yeah, and
no. That's what threw me. That's what threw me, because I'm thinking you're saying you don't have a first round draft pick, but you have the Knicks. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I did say that, but I think that's what.
No, I got you, because based on where the Knicks are, their pick is going to be low.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You taking L after L after L. So you have to improve next year. Where's the path for them to get better? It's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to chase Zion Williamson or Giannis, or you're gonna be in the mix for some of these big names, because you got to get better immediately. You can't play that tank game no more.
No, you're right about that. But the rules the way
I
they
told
are
him
here.
about that. I told him about that crap. I told people about that crap and how stupid it was. And I knew this was going to happen. You're going to lose out on your pick, and now look at you. Knicks up by 1, 2:16 left in the fourth. So, that's kind of where I'm at with the Nets. The future don't look bright unless you get this draft pick right and you hit on this pick and you can bring somebody else in through a trade, because that's what you're going to have to do. You got to get better. What you going to tank and hand the Rockets a top 3 pick? This is pathetic. For real, it's pathetic, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a lot of high hopes for the Brooklyn Nets right now. I'm probably as low on them. Then any team in the city.
I get you.
The Knicks are competing for a championship. The Giants and Jets have hope. We talked about them. They got direction now. Yankees, I mean, they're going to be competing for a World Series. The Mets, the Mets got players. They just ain't performing. What do the Nets got, bro? Nothing. I'm just saying, this is an important pick right here. But talked about the Mets, Giants, Jets. Yeah. All right. We'll wait a little bit to recap, but we can get in the culture segment. By the time we get done, this game will be over. Plus, they're going to overtime. So, I have to let me upload my slides here. So I had to put them on a slide because let's see. Why does this look different? All right. Always some. So, we're gonna do top 5 TV dads. And I kind of like this one, Coach, because Father's Day coming up and everything, but it definitely took me back to some childhood moments, growing up watching some of these shows and the dads and everything, man. But I don't remember the order, but I respect my elders, so you can go ahead and set it off if you want to, Coach. I don't remember the order.
All right, I'll go. I'm sitting here thinking, did I go?
Did I go?
I don't remember, but I'll go. It's not a big issue.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But all right, let's get into culture. Let's get into culture segment, man. Let's hit it, bro.
All right. I'm gonna talk about my top 5 TV sitcom dads, and there's a significant to some, if not all of them, in reference to my father, as well as myself, my brothers who were dads. There's always that connection there. So, and it's always important in reference to our fathers, because society always tries to make it seem like fathers are not in the picture in one way or another. But, you start to realize dads have always been in the picture and they play an important role. So coming in at number 5,
Number 5.
Floyd Henderson from The Smart Guy. I mean, one of the things that connects with me was he was a single dad, and I was a single dad. You know, he had 3 kids. I had, you know, well, he had sons, but no matter what, I had three daughters. So there was always that connection there, and the way that he worked hard for his children, you know, did the best he can. And look, at times he needed to be tough on them, but there's times he, you know, backed off. But it always connect, and you know, whenever I watched that show, I was just like, you know, there was always that connection there, you know, to Floyd Henderson. So coming in at number 4.
Number 4.
Come on, man. Uncle Phil. I mean, Uncle Phil was one of those dudes, man. I mean, smart. Ain't take no junk from nobody. Just all around gregarious as a dad when necessary. I mean, first of all, you bringing in your nephew, your wife's nephew into your fold, and you really are treating him like your own. And I still remember, you know, the scene where, you know, Will and Carlton got arrested, and he was talking to the cops, and he said, you know, did you contact their parents? No, because we're their parents. It's including, you know, he's including Prince into the fold. And then, you know, showing the love and the care, you know, when, you know, they got hustled for the car, and what'd he do? He went down to the pool hall and, you know, racked it up and got the car back and then some. Most impactful that showed his power as a dad when Will's dad came into the picture for a split second on that episode, and, you know, made all these promises but walked out to go on a job and didn't take Will with him. And Will sitting there at a moment crying like, why don't he love me? And, you know, you saw Uncle Phil just wrap his arms around him, and it's like you felt that power, you felt that love, you felt that how much he cared. So yeah, he was definitely Uncle Phil, RIP to him also, but he's definitely one of my faves. So coming in at number 3.
Number 3.
Man, what can I say? I love Married with Children, Al Bundy. I mean, the everything about the show, Al Bundy was just that type of dad. You know, I mean, sometimes you wonder if he did really lived his kids, but, you know, when his daughter was dating, he'd always, you know, walk the dudes over to the door, bang their head into the wall and kick them out, you know, and just be there. He really had those moments when he would be there for his kids, you know, taking Bud to the go-go club, and they're getting into fights and fighting side by side and enjoying themselves. And, you know, he's really teaching his son, you know, so many different things as a dad. You know, look, he's a goofy, you know, sometimes, but it's just, you know, just one of those things. But here's one of the biggest things that I've always taken from him as a dad. You know, look, he's a shoe salesman. He ain't making no money, but he's still providing for his family. We could joke all we want. He could struggle, but he's still doing for his family, giving his family all his money. He don't want to. Sometimes he cries about it. Oh, Peg. But still doing for his children as well as his wife, man. But he was a great dad, a TV dad for me. So next up at number 2.
Number 2.
Come on, man. James Evans, man. Good times, man. I mean, you struggling in the hood, it doesn't matter, no matter what. You in the ghetto, but he was always in the picture. Always, until his passing on the show. But he was there, and you knew that he loved his children, working multiple jobs, all different hours, no matter what the type of job. He wasn't out there in the streets. He was doing for his kids and each and every time. And you know what? Yeah, when he spanked them because he loved them. And you know what? He showed as a dad how much he cared about his children and other children. I still remember that one episode where Michael brought that boy over who wasn't doing good. He was, little borderline knucklehead, and they were supposed to study, and he ain't want to study, and he took that boy in the back, and you heard him whooping that boy's butt, and you saw everybody else, Florida, the kids, every hit, they're wincing, but you knew it was out of love and great compassion, so he's one of my top 5. Coming in at number 1.
Number 1.
Look, for the time in the 80s, everyone watched The Cosby Show. Everyone. It didn't matter if you were black, white, Latino, Asian. They watched The Cosby Show because you watch this now as a black family, black man. You saw a black family, a doctor with a lawyer, that you saw him there with all his kids, doing for his kids day in and out. And remember, he even brought in what's her name, who went on to be on Living Single. She played Pam and brought her into the hold, and she was treated just like any other kid in the household. And even when the oldest got married, he was still a father to Alvin. So I mean, he was that typical father in the 1980s, that era right there, for me. So, and he was one that I wanted to emulate as a father, being smart, being fair for, your children. So, there you have it. Those are my top 5. Also, I have a couple of honorable mentions. You can bring that up. Carl Winslow, Fred Sanford. Don't forget, Fred, it's Sanford and Son, and he was there for Lamont, you big dummy. And then Flex Washington on 1-on-1, then Single Dad, another one with the daughter. So there you have it. So that's it.
Yeah, man. Fire list. I knew he was gonna bring the heat on this one. So we're gonna have a couple crossovers on this one. I kind of had a feeling we was going to.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of good choices. I compiled a list of about, I think, 30 of them. So
I was up to 50.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, I'll wait till you finish. We'll talk after you finish.
But yeah. Let me get my my share screen back up here. All right, man. So top 5 TV dads now. Again, like I mentioned, we're gonna have some crossover here, but we're gonna pop it off, man, with number 5.
Number 5.
Al Bundy. Al Bundy comes in at number 5 here on my list. And Al just like he the way he treated his family was kind of like, it was in a funny way, but you could tell he cared, so. But being that shoe salesman, not making a lot of money like Coach mentioned, that was kind of why people love Al Bundy. You know what I'm saying? And he just ain't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was just like nonchalant with things. You know, you always seen him there with his hands in his, in his pants right there. So that was his attitude. Old Al Bundy. Yeah, Al Bundy got to come in at number 5 here, man. He has to make the list. One of my favorite shows, Married with Children. You had the dumb blonde, and then you had Kelly, the dumb blonde. Then you had Peggy, the gritty wife. You know what I'm saying? So he did a lot to support them kids and that wife. So on a shoe salesman salary. So shout out to Al Bundy, man. But let's go to number 4 here.
Number 4.
George Jefferson. George Jefferson comes in at number 4. Look, man. George was the man. Moving on up. I think a lot of why I put like these culture segments, because everybody talked about George Jefferson. It was one of those things, man, in the deluxe apartment in the sky. So that like he he was more so a character, but again, man, you gotta put George Jefferson up there, man. Top 5. When I thought about this, I immediately thought about the Jeffersons, man. So, but let's go to number 3.
Number 3.
We get to the heavy hitters now. Rock. He was a blue collar trash man. So Rock from the Rock Emerson, definitely up there, man. This was one of my favorite shows too, back in the day. Like, a lot of people don't really, I don't guess, remember this show, or maybe not watched it, but this show was pretty good, and yeah, he was a he just bought that father figure, that you know what I'm saying, that energy, man. Strong, old school values, responsible. Always had a lesson to be learned that he was, So definitely, man. Shout out to Rock, coming in at number 3. Yeah, man, it's unpopular opinions. Let's go and be popular. Let's go to number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Fred Sanford. Sanford and Son. Yeah, man. He held it down for Lamont, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so Lamont was a big dummy, but he was his big dummy. You know what I'm saying? So this character kind of remind me of my dad and like my uncles. Had that kind of energy. Like, they would talk shit to you, but it was love. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. Fred Sanford was a hustler, man. He did what he needed to do. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man. And this was one of the shows that, while before my time, was still airing in the 80s, 90s. So my pops used to watch this all the time. This is why he comes in at number 2. Yeah, Fred Sanford. Maybe I didn't see that coming. Number 1, though, that's an obvious one. Let's get to it.
Number 1.
Uncle Phil. I mean, Coach, you laid out the soliloquy perfectly about Uncle Phil, man. I'm not going to rehash it. but you gotta understand what he did for Will and his kids. You know what I'm saying? So you take care of somebody else's kids and yours, holding it down. You know, now, yeah, you know, Phil had his times, but everybody respected him. Everybody had love for him. You know, so look, man. Yeah, man. That's it, man. Now the Huxtables with, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you talked about the Cosby Show, you know, you talked about Good Times. I mean, those will be on honorable mentions for me. Also, Carl Winslow, Family Matters. You know, Blaze is putting some good ones in the chat. Danny Tanner, Full House. Tim Allen, Home Improvement. Yep, that was a good one. So, but that's my list, man. What you think?
No, I love that list, man. I mean, you see, like you said, we cross over on a couple. So, you know, I mean, and look, you know, we're I mean, I got you in a few years, but we're still in the same time era. So yeah, you know, I mean, those dads. I mean, and there's a lot more, man. I mean, I was debating
when you said dads, though. I just thought about father figures.
No,
you know, guys that I would be like, all right, cool. That's a dad. That's a father figure. That's a type of. You giving that type of energy of, you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
But there was a lot of good ones.
Like I said, I was up to 50. Two of them that I was really debating was Jason Severs from Growing Pains and Michael Kyle from My Wife and Kids. So
yeah, a good point, Uncle Phil. Yeah, that's a good point, Blaze. Is an uncle.
Still a dad. He's called uncle.
But yeah, he's both. He's both.
He's a dad. So, you know, like I said, you know,
I love Archie Bunker, man. I do, man. Like Archie Bunker was funny as hell.
Trust me. Look, the 70s, that was my era, and I get it. And the way he, you know, his daughter, he doted on her. Again, I'm kind of the same way. I get it. You know, and we look, I understand the time eras and the language.
Yeah, you know, it's sensitive these days.
It won't crawl. Yeah, Terry Crews from everywhere.
Yeah, Bernie Mac from the Bernie Mac show.
Yeah, like I said, I had up to 50
Bernie Mac
fathers.
treated the kids.
Yeah, so it's like when you sit and you look at it, it's like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had Wally B. Leave It to Beaver's dad. I had him on the list, so it's like, and that was well before my time. You know, that's the late 50s, early 60s.
That goes back.
But the point I'm making is, when you sit and you do this and you look at it, it's like, yo, there's always been dads, and you know, for us culturally, society always tells us the fathers are not in the picture, and we're showing. Number one, we're dads. We're in the picture with our children. My dad has always been in the picture. My brothers are in the picture with their kids. And then on TV, we're pulling up and showing society is giving us a fallacy. So that's why this has been so powerful and impactful. So, and look, like you, Blaze, great job putting in other dads out there. So you're showing too a different perspective of, you know, look, they're fathers, and fathers are important in the family life, man. So there you have it.
Yeah. True that, man.
Great job, bro. Great job.
Yeah, man. Good good stuff there. Let's do this. Let's do the Coach's Corner, and then we can talk about the Knicks. Knicks won. We'll wrap it up with the Knicks, but let's get to
my extra
Coach's
stupid.
Corner.
Oh, she's stupid. I'm sorry. Oh man, she just texted me about the game. Oh my gosh. ready to go outside in her bra and her panties. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
She didn't say that. No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. I'm joking. No, but, she did not say that. I'm joking. I'll be, but she said orange and blue skies tomorrow. So yeah, I get you that.
Yeah. So one step closer, man, to a championship.
Look, we'll talk more about that in a second. But yeah, let me get over the culture corner for you.
All right, man.
All right, so let's just get right into Coach's Corner. Hope you guys really appreciate it. And as usual, I'm going to start with the ladies, talking about the New York Liberty. Now, the Liberty, they've improved to 6-4. They've had a couple of wins over the Toronto Tempo today and the Phoenix Mercury. Several of the Liberty who have been out have started to come back and help them fight their way back. One of the key contributors is Leonia Fevers. Since she's been back, New York has won 3 straight. She came back 3 games ago, and here she is contributing. So it's really, really important that, players get back. You have Benai Jelani coming back. You also have rookie guard Pauline Astier. She's been having a great season, especially with Sabrina Ionescu out. She's averaging 12 points. Before tonight, she's been averaging 12 points, 3.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists per game, and her contributions have been heavily needed to help New York during the initial tough times to start the season. Now, Sabrina, she was questionable for today's game, but then she eventually was ruled out with back issues. So some of the fans are concerned, because, when she was questionable, usually when you're questionable, you're expecting them to come back. But, she was ruled out of the game against Toronto. And the return of Coach Sandy Brodello, who received a standing ovation from the fans there in Brooklyn. Her, along with several other players who were and coaches who were with the Liberty previously. Now, this game starts the Commissioner Cup, similar to what the NBA has. So both teams, this was their first game, and New York ended up winning 97-82. Finally, Stewie and Jonquel Jones were asked their thoughts on Coach Brodello, about her firing last year. And Stewie, she was quoted as saying, "I wasn't particularly expecting it. I wasn't really involved in that. Sad to see her go, but happy to see her find somewhere else." And JJ, she was asked the same question, and she said plainly, "Next question, I'm not answering that one." So there you have it. So Liberty, rocky start, but now they've won 3. So let's see what happens in their next game. I'll keep you guys tuned in next week. Moving on to St. John's, I'm going to talk a little St. John's baseball. The baseball team went into the NCAA tournament Super Regionals after downing number 10 ranked nationally seeded Florida State 5-4 on Monday to sweep the Tallahassee Regional. The Red Storm completed an improbable run, becoming just the 13th, 4th seed team to qualify for the Super Regionals since the current format began in 1999. They become the first team since 2023 to win 3 games in a regional when trailing by multiple runs, and the first 4 seed to complete the feat. The Johnnies trailed by multiple runs in all 3 contests of the Tallahassee Regional, and it's just the 5th, 4th seed to sweep a regional. Head coach Mike Hampton was quoted as saying, "What an incredibly resilient group of guys. I tell you, these guys, if we can get out there and attack the zone, throw quality strikes, defend the field, and get timely hits, we will be in every game, and this team has bought into it." So there you have it. Move over to the next slide on Ed Cole. St. John's Go to the next slide, guys. St. John's Vice President and Director of Athletics Ed Cole was named. He was named to the Silver Waves Media Top Athletic Directors in America list. The organization announced on Monday. Cole, in only his second year at the helm leading the Red Storm athletic department, was tabbed one of the top leaders. The list is curated by the athletic directors, search firms, agencies, and industry leaders. He returned to St. John's in October 2024, marking his third stint working at the university. In under 2 years at the helm, the Long Island native has navigated the athletic department during an ever-changing time in the landscape of intercollegiate athletics. In total, the Red Storm's 17 varsity programs have won 5 Big East regular season championships, 5 conference tournament titles, and made 10 NCAA tournament appearances during Cole's tenure. So that's pretty impressive right there. So congratulations to him for what he's bringing to the table for St. John's. And then finally, I'm going to move over to Syracuse, a little Syracuse news. The new Syracuse University Director of Athletics, Byron B. Blair, was honored by the Silver Waves Media as one of the top athletic directors in America. It's the latest honor for the new members of Syracuse Athletic Administration, as new Deputy Athletic Director Yolander Wells Jr. and Nicole Harris were previously on the Silver Waves Top 100 list for rising and future athletic directors this spring. Blair, who was introduced in March and recently transitioned to Syracuse, is widely regarded as one of the most creative and accomplished leaders in America, a builder of championship programs, a generator of innovative revenue strategies, and a genuine believer in the power of higher education. He's coming to Syracuse, having previously served as the Vice President and Director of Athletics at Toledo. So there you have it. Now, a little basketball news for Syracuse. They will renew its longstanding rivalry with Providence as part of the Hall of Fame series in Boston on December 19th at TD Garden, according to Position Sports, in particular with the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The series will also include a 2026 NCAA championship rematch between Connecticut and Michigan. That's on November the 6th. Syracuse is excited to participate in the Hall of Fame Series Boston event versus Providence at the TD Garden on the 19th, said new head coach Gary McNamara. We appreciate the opportunity to return to New England, an area that includes a large and enthusiastic group of Syracuse alumni and fans. Syracuse has a rivalry with Providence that dates back more than 55 years, and we look forward to the challenge of competing against the Friars. So there you have it. That's what I have for you today on Coach's Corner. Hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to bringing you more next week. Back to you, NYG.
All right, man. So we are back, man. Check it out. Knicks got a dub tonight. Game 1 is in the books. Let's get it. All right, man. So Knicks winning tonight, 105-95. 105-95. Knicks get the dub. The Knicks hold the Spurs to 36% shooting. That's old school basketball, man. Old school basketball, man. Wemby 6 out of 21. Woo. He did have 26 points though. 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers for Wembanyama. That's not going to cut it.
How many
and
blocks?
you shot poorly.
He had 3 blocks. Okay.
3 blocks. Yeah.
Yeah. 621 is not going to cut it.
No. And look, Jalen Brunson, he did Jalen Brunson things, but I mean, he struggled too. A little bit, man. Right. But he did have 30. But to me, you got to give a shout out to Carl Anthony Towns. Carl Anthony Towns, Cat Towns, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. And from a little bit of the game that I could watch, he was going at Wemby. He wasn't doing that Chet Holmgren shit where you backing down. Like, he went at him, you know. And again, you know, Knicks fans are complaining about the referees and all that, but you got the dub. You know, you got the dub. And again, shout out to Josh Hart. Only had 3 points, but 15 rebounds and 6 assists. That's how you get it done, man. You got to do the little things in the NBA Finals. You know, the refs are letting. This is what the NBA. See, I say the same thing about the NFL. This is what you asked for. You guys asked to let the players be more physical. So if the referees ain't calling everything, you're gonna have to play through it. The toughest team wins. The Knicks were the tougher team tonight. So
they did call fouls. I mean, San Antonio was 20 of 25, while the Knicks were 16 of 18. So it was. So they did call it, but like to your point, they didn't let it go. They didn't go crazy with it because Scott Forster was officiating, and I said it earlier on the pick and roll. I was like, oh God, he's one of the ones that calls a lot of fouls. So to your point, yeah, you're right. They did let it play. So.
This the basketball I want to see. I'm tired of little ticky-tack, floppy and flopping all over like a fish, all over on the court. Let these cats play ball.
Look at this.
You know what I'm saying?
60 rebounds. Both teams. So,
right. It was a lot of misses.
Both hit 11. Both hit 11 3-pointers. New York was 11 of 36, while San Antonio was 11 of 43. So it came down to be honest with you, the overall field goals. New York 39 and 94, while San Antonio was 32 of 89. So there it goes. That's really what it boiled down. Because everything else just says it was even.
Yeah. The Knicks though with 50 paint points is very telling to me, because that's telling me they're not afraid to go in the paint and challenge Wembanyama. And that's what you're going to need to do. That is what you're going to need to do. You know, and I said the Knicks needed to get this game.
Yep.
They needed this one badly.
Because, by the way, how many was that in a row? How many is that? Come on. How many is that?
12.
That's 12. That's 12 in a row. So, no, but seriously, all jokes aside, yeah, you're right. New York needs to get this because now they take home court advantage. That's the first thing. So, Game 2 is going to be another brawl, though.
All right, we got a special guest. We're going to get to our special guest, man. We got Mr. Man Cave in the building, man. So shout out to UK, man. And shout out to the Knicks. Man, let's talk about it, Cave, man. That's what we're here to do, man. We're going to finish up Heart of the City talking about the Knicks. We got a championship team in the finals right now. We got to discuss it.
Yeah, Shaman at 13.
Shaman, man.
Damn it, Shaman, man. Hey, good, strong, goody win by the Knicks, man. Like I said, and I know I heard you said earlier about talking about the referees cheating. Man, the referees trying to help the Spurs any which way they can, bro. I watched that game. I was like, they should get the free throw line 35, 40 times in that game. It's like, if you ain't gonna call like the hard fouls, don't call the ticky-tack fouls. That's all I'm saying, man. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I care about, bro. Let them play. Let them play, man. Don't be helping out Wemby and all this stuff and all that crap, man. But hey, Knicks fought through it, man. Like I said, Brunson, I thought he was gonna leave the game earlier because he got nicked up and stuff like that. He came back and he still gave them the business. You know what I'm saying? So, after this game, the Spurs are in trouble. They're in serious trouble because the Knicks really ain't even played their A game yet. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the Spurs, you know what I'm saying, like Champagne and what's his name, Harper. Those are the two guys that really kept the Spurs in the game throughout. You know what I'm saying? But the rebounding,
Knicks got to figure out something to do with that. Damn, he been killing y'all. The Knicks, bro.
Yeah,
Champagne.
Yeah, because they keep leaving them. They keep leaving them open because they keep going double team other people.
Kept them in the regular season too.
Right. Just do a box one. Just keep him. Just stay on him and make somebody else beat you. That's all you got to do. That's basketball 101. Basketball IQ 101. But for some reason, these guys they have a brain fart out on the court. You know what I'm saying? They just let this guy go crazy. But the Spurs guard, like I told Coach, the Spurs guard rebound. They had 9 rebounds apiece through all these guys rebound. And that's another thing that kept them in the game was the rebounding. If you can keep them guys off the boards and stuff like that. See Josh Hart, he had 15 by himself.
Hart, yeah.
He needs help. He needs help from his other guys. You know what I'm saying? He can get the help from them other guys. Hey, this is gonna be
Towns had 12 though. Hold on, Kate. Towns had 12. Mitch had 6.
I'm talking about the guards.
Yeah, the guards ain't gonna do a lot of rebounding anyway. They got
to, bro. I mean, those are long rebounds. I mean, that's what the guards are out there for, the long rebounds. There's a lot of 3-point shot. When there's a lot of 3-point shooting, there's a lot of long misses. So you got to get them balls. But it is what it is. But like I said, that was a game that we had to have. We got the game. Now the pressure's on the Spurs. But that second game, the Knicks gonna be ready. They're gonna be forced to play. We taking that game too. We want that game. That's a game that we desperately need. That we want. We want to go to New York up 2-0 to end this thing in New York. Like we talked about. NYG. First game, the Knicks was going to get the first game, but the second game, now if the Spurs get it, then you already know it's going to go 5 or 6 or something like that.
I think it's going 6. I think the Spurs going to get. And if you complain about you got to think about this. If you complain about the refs, if they did allow that, you know what I'm saying, and they did put some hits on Brunson, so again, the Knicks, you might see a little bit of a letdown. And what I really want to see from the Knicks, I want to see them rebound when they do finally lose a game and how they come back, because they're on such a high right now and such a long time winning streak. You almost want that point to come soon so you can rebound coming back home. You don't want to get the loss at home at the crib. Now you're looking like, dang, you know what I'm saying? So I'd rather them go ahead, just have that letdown. It's going to come eventually. Have that letdown in game 2 and then rebound. Take 3 and 4, and then you can close them out in 6. That's how I see it.
No, I see it as like, hey, why do that? Just try to win 15 in a row and just finish it off.
And yeah, you can try, but I just don't see it happening. Now, if they do it, then kudos to them. That'll be awesome. It'll be historic.
Yeah, it will be.
We'll see, though.
The Spurs they're gonna give a better effort with the Seal and some of these other guys.
Spurs ain't trash. They're not Atlanta, they're not Philly, and they're not Cleveland. This team gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? They got pride.
Yeah, but the thing about it is
they'll get at least a game.
See, the thing about it, what the Knicks need to do, like I said, stay on Champagne. If I could live with Castle beat me from 3-point range with somebody on, that's all I care about. Like the shooters, just make sure that you stick to the shooters and let them guys. If they're gonna beat you, they're gonna beat you. But I don't think they will. And De'Aaron Fox, we know he probably ain't 100%, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But
3-13, man. Spurs got to shoot better. Point blank period, man. You shot 36%. Now I don't know if that was because they was tired. After that 7, and I kind of felt this was gonna happen. They're gonna come out sluggish, and look, and they really didn't come out sluggish. They kind of finished sluggish. They finished on a down note. I felt like, man, because they were up. At points in that game. I think they was up by as many as 10, if I'm correct. Right,
14 points.
14, okay.
Game at. That's where they lost the game at, because they started shooting some threes and they weren't making them. And that's what I'm saying. Had they made those threes, it probably would have kind of knocked the Knicks back.
Too many threes. You got a 7-foot fucking 5 dude out there. Why are you shooting all these threes? These coaches in the NBA is ridiculous. Right, Wemby, get your, down there in that paint. Champagne, We like your 3-pointers, man, but we need you to take it to the hole. And we definitely need to go up. Castle, he's the one that does kind of go to the hole a little bit more than the rest of them. But all the rest of them want to sit out there and shoot threes. But Fox and all of them, man, like, stop that nonsense, bro.
The thing with Wemby, I mean, he's an alien supposedly, but like I said, he's weak, man, and that's the thing.
He took 9 threes, bro.
I'm just saying 9. I'm just saying about it.
Champagne took 10. He took 9.
Right. I mean, because
that's your forward and your center.
Because
they shot the most threes on the team. That's what I'm saying. It's a bad philosophy.
But like I said, the thing with Wemby is like in physical strength, though, man. When you play against guys who's strong against him, he really don't try to take him in the paint. You know what I'm saying? He stands on the outside, and that's what I say. With us, we got Mitchell Robinson in town. Yeah. We could tire that dude out because we want him running up and down the court, and we want to put bodies on him and stuff like that. And that's what you got to do. And like I said, with the Knicks, we know how to play the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? We don't have great success with them over the last 3-4 years, though. I'm not really worried about the Spurs. If the Knicks do what they got to do, they're going to wrap this up and win this thing. It's up to the Knicks. The Knicks are just going to beat themselves. As good as the Spurs are, they're just too young right now. They're inexperienced. But they're going to get a lot better and stuff like that. They got some good young guards and stuff like that. So, yeah. But right now, the Knicks just got to keep doing what they got to do. And like I said, making some shots, rebound, and play like how to play like in the third and fourth quarter. Play like that throughout the game. If they play like that, it's going to be too much for the Spurs.
How do you feel about Mike Brown?
You know, I tell Coach, I like Mike Brown as a coach of the Knicks. Like I said, we're going from Tom Thibodeau from one extreme to the other. Like I said, all this is just making adjustments and also playing guys off the bench. And like you look at the Knicks, this year in the playoff, the Knicks the starters have played like 140 minutes less at this time of year than last year. So 140 minutes less, and we close out a lot of series, so we get a lot of rest. Guys that don't have a lot of mileage on their foot, and they get a lot of getting production from the bench. You gotta be like 10 deep, man, in the playoffs against these teams because you're gonna get worn down. But if you go 10 deep, you're gonna be good, just like how Indiana did last year, and they took OKC to 7 games.
Mm-hmm. Let me let's play a clip here.
Someone ran the court during the game.
Huh? Yeah. I'm gonna get to that. I got a couple clips here. I wanna play for y'all. And we're gonna listen to Mike Brown. Just like a post game, bro. We ain't playing. We're gonna get it in, man. Let's listen at the coach, man. Let's hear what he got to say. We got our coach here, so
in the big goes up, and that's what
we've seen it all time and again with Jalen. But what was the difference between his first 3 quarters and then what he did in that last 7.5 minutes? I know he's hunting Champagne a little bit, but what did you see there that got him going?
Yeah, he's a gamer, man. He in the biggest moments, he shows up, and that's what MVPs are supposed to do. We put the ball in his hands. We said we were going to live and die with him, and he went and he got it done for us. And that's happened time after time after time after time. He got to his spots and he made plays. Now, on top of that, our guys spaced the floor correctly. When you're playing against San Antonio and you have a defensive anchor like Wemby back there, your spacing has to be right. And if that ball gets sprayed, we know Wemby's in the paint. When the ball gets sprayed, guys got to make plays. And Josh was great with his quick DHOs. Guys were great shooting the ball. Guys were great having a second drive. And those are things you got to try to do against this team because Wemby is going to gravitate towards the ball when you drive it. And, again, I give our guys credit, especially starting with Jalen because he made some huge plays, which drew Wemby in even more. But give our guys credit for trying to play fast down the stretch and making sure the floor was spaced when Jalen drove the basketball.
All right, man. So you heard it there from Mike Brown, man. I'm talking about Jalen Brunson, man. Cave.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about Jalen Brunson last week, and he's gonna go down as the greatest Knick ever. And seeing what this guy's doing in this playoffs, I'm a big Jalen Brunson fan. See, with basketball, yeah, I'm a Nets fan, but I look at the game. I have a passion and a love just for the game overall. And Jalen Brunson is one of my favorite players to watch. You know him, Anthony Edwards, a couple other guys, man. I like those gritty, tough type players, man. But like, he carries this team, man, down the stretch. So, what's your thoughts, man, about JB, about Jalen Brunson, and what Mike Brown just said there?
Oh, man, I mean, Jalen Brunson, you know, that's our captain and all that stuff. But as far as like the greatest Knick of all time, I think he's going to be one of the greatest Knick. He can't be the greatest Knick of all time because in order to be the greatest Knick of all time, you got to be one of the 50 greatest players in the NBA. And if he can't be one of the 50 greatest players, then he can't be the greatest.
I think he will be after he win this chip.
No, I mean, I said 50 greatest player of all time, not on the Knicks 50 of all time. Patrick Ewing's one of the 50 greatest players of all time. And you think Jalen Brunson's going to be one of the 50 greatest players of all time to join that fraternity? That's what I'm saying. He's going to
be the greatest Knick, meaning the most important player.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he'll be one.
That's what that means. That doesn't mean like as far as accolades or talent or anything like that. If you want to put Ewing up there, I don't think Ewing's the greatest Knick. I mean, because bring it home.
I mean,
he failed in the biggest moment. I mean, he finger rolled as it's like, bro. I don't know how. Yeah, bro. I don't see how you put that.
There's one thing that because Ewing did not fail at the greatest time in the NBA championship. That loss.
That's fair.
John Starks has always said it's Starks. Him. It's on him, and he said if he was Ewing played a great series against Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah. So, you know, if the Knicks win, he's the MVP. But now the finger roll you're talking about, that's Indiana, and that's in the conference finals.
Yeah,
that's different. So he should have finger rolled. No, I get you, but to say, when you say fail, you know. There are other factors involved because he put it on the line. He did. He put it on the line, Ewing. So, and as far as the greatest Knick, I think what Cave is saying, to be the greatest Knick, you should also be included in the top 50. Mm-hmm. That's all I think he's saying. If I'm saying it right, Cave.
Right. And also, you have to understand too with Brunson. When Ewing was here with the Knicks, a lot of times they didn't put the best players around him, so it was a management issue. With Brunson, they put in players around him to win a championship. It's not like Brunson came here by himself and nobody else was on the team. So they hurry up and put people around him to try to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? So they building the team to hurry up and win the championship in like a couple of years. When Ewing came, it wasn't like that. Ewing spent like 15, 16 seasons in New York. Bad management. You see what I'm saying? Same thing like in football now. Like how these teams are trying to hurry up and put a bunch of people around these guys to hurry up and win the championship. They're not growing them with the team when they, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a quick gratitude to get the accolade. You know what I'm saying? They don't go through all the hard times of being like, you know, going from the bottom, come up, you know, to grow with the team and all stuff. They trying to manufacture championships, put guys around each other quicker.
I mean, that's fair, but I don't want us to have what I call an old school bias because of how we look at the game today. You know what I'm saying? But you can say if you want to. Maybe this instance is not, but I do get that a lot. So I'm trying. I do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be balanced. This dude is up there, bro. Jalen Brunson is gonna be. If you can argue if he's not number one. I get it. You can definitely argue.
Oh, you're in the top.
Shout out to Blaze. You can argue Frazier.
Right.
You can argue Ewing. Yeah. You know, you can argue Reed.
Yeah, exactly.
You can. But again,
championships. He win multiple championships. He go to number one. I get you. If he gets, he goes up there.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. If he got two champions, then there's different.
Well, he's gonna get you one if they continue this run. And that's going to be one more than Patrick Ewing.
That's
So,
fair. That's
you
fair.
see what I'm saying? and if he gets you 2 now, now you really
because
having that conversation.
Now you put him legitimately up there because with Frazier, with Reed, you also look at that team. I mean, you had the Busher, you had who am I forgetting? The Busher, you had the Pearl.
The Pearl, yeah.
You had Bill Bradley. You had also Hall of Famers on that team. So excuse me. Then if he can get you 2, yes. The argument is, you can put it up there because I had that conversation with someone and he said, but Willis Reed and Frazier, they also play with the All-Star team in comparison to Brunson. Now if you want to say Cat is his Robin, okay, but then who are the other guys? When you compare them to the other, the 70s Knicks, 70 Knicks did have more talent. I have to be honest. I mean, even Phil Jackson, even though he wasn't he still brought something to the table. I mean, what's his name who just passed for? Like if you go and you look at that team and you're like, wow, he had him, they had him, they had him. You're like, wow, they really had some teams in the 70s. So then you could say, well, Frazier and Reed play with more talent in comparison to Brunson. Not to diminish the players right now. They are good. They are very good. But are they Hall of Famers in comparison to what Frazier and Reed played with?
And let me say this too with Brunson. See, the thing with Ewing was the face of the franchise for 15 seasons, and when he first came, there was nobody around him. Now, can you put Brunson in that same situation with nobody around him and see if he'd be one of the greatest Knicks? It won't happen. And see that's what
you say. Ewing ain't had nobody around him, though, bro.
When he first came and all that stuff. I mean, and the
right. And when Brunson first got here, he was on the Mavericks. So I mean,
I'm talking about on the Knicks. I ain't talking about on the Mavericks. I'm talking about on the Knicks. See what I'm talking about? He came to a team that
they didn't get this team until last year, bro.
No, but what I'm saying is, I mean, he came with Randall, Barrett, and all those guys. Then they put Towns and Mikal Bridges and Anunoby on him within he been here 4 years, so but within the last 2 years or something like that.
Okay, and how many years you said Ewing got? 6? So he did it 2 years earlier?
Ewing played 16 seasons with the Knicks, but early on in his career, the manager.
Right, and I remember those teams Ewing had. They had.
The first rendition actually, don't forget Ewing when he was
drafted
Rick Pitino era. The Rick Pitino era is when they start because he had Gerald Wilkins, who was no slouch. You had good, Mark Jackson, and they had Rod Strickland. So they did have. They had Anthony Bonner, so I mean they did have
high-level
some
players,
right? But they broke that team up real quick because of Al Bianchi. He messed with the Knicks. That's what turned the Knicks around.
I'm with you. Yeah,
and that's what I say. Because if you'd have kept those guys, the Knicks would have been on a better trajectory and might have won a championship. Because I like that squad that the Knicks had with Gerald Wilkins on guys. He broke them up real quick. And that changed it again, and they went back down again until the 90s when they got Riley and Van Gundy.
Don't forget, you also had Bill Cartwright initially too with Patrick.
Bill Cartwright in the beginning.
Yeah, and you traded him for Charles Oakley.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bill Cartwright used to be hurt all the time. That's the problem. That's why they traded him. He used to be hurt all the time, and then when they traded him, he never got hurt again.
But as you know, BK is my number one all time. That's mine, but I see, Bernard King, the thing with Bernard King is he had the knee injury. If Bernard King did not have the knee injury, I think that changes the whole dynamic of the Knicks.
Right.
Because Bernard King would have been...
the Knicks, when Ewing came in 85, 86, they had 1, 2, 3 bad seasons, Cave, and then they won 50 games, bro, in 88, 89.
Yeah, that was Rick Pitino. Now you talking about Rick Pitino.
Right. So he didn't have this bad stretch of being on this bad team like you talking about, bro.
No, like I said, they had Mark Jackson, they had Rod Strickland, they traded them guys. They got rid of them guys and got Maurice Cheeks and all these old guys, bro.
And that's the same thing the Knicks did. They traded got Hartenstein and DiVincenzo and flipped them and got
didn't trade
the guys they wanted.
Hartenstein went.
What I'm saying, they got guys. They got different guys. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? They did the same thing that he was saying at that team.
But look at when Brunson came, Knicks, how many games the Knicks won? And Brunson's 4 years in the Knicks. You'll see they won like what 40 something games. Or 50, they was like one of the teams. That's when Thibodeau had kind of turned them around with Randall and Barrett, those guys and stuff like that. So he came on. It wasn't like he came on those like 17 win seasons and like 12 win seasons where he had to turn it around and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. He ain't start from the bottom.
I can respect that argument. You know what I'm saying? As our resident New York Knicks aficionado, I can respect that argument. But I'm saying, I will say, and I'll stand on this, Jalen Brunson is going to go down as one of the greatest Knicks. Now, if you want to argue 1 or 2 or 3, that's on you. I'm saying if he get a ring, he's won. I'm saying that. That's me. But you could hold Patrick Ewing because
but you know what? No, I mean when you said he gets a ring though, yeah, he goes up there because of like the 50-something year drought and all that type of stuff. So
exactly.
Now that's the thing. Now you're looking at the importance and the impact. Mm-hmm. So that's different because he broke that 53. Yeah, and I get you with that. I get you with that. So. But it's kind of like the Chicago Cubs when they finally won their World Series after 100 and some odd years. So yeah, if you can do that to break that, then it elevates your status, you know. But I mean, for me, it's always going to be Frazier number 1 for me. It just is, you know. Now if you want to say maybe Reed because he was the captain, but you know, it's just like that game where when they won the first one when Reed came out and he was injured. But people forget, everybody talks about Willis Reed that game, but it was Clyde Frazier with 30 some odd points who really was the one who won that game. But I get it. That's why to me it's always Frazier, because he got the 2 and his impact and what he did. And when they traded him to Cleveland, how the Knicks started spiraling down, you know, for a while. So, but that's me. That's me. I mean, he's number 1. I mean, as far as all-time fave, like a lot of kids nowadays, they haven't seen this type of winning until Brunson got there. So to NYG's point, that's why a lot of people look at Brunson as number 1 if he gets a ring, because a lot of these young cats ain't seen. Like, hey, we know what it's like back in the 90s. We've seen it. You know, so it's different. And even the late 80s, we've seen it. We know what it's like. You know, so
I'm gonna say this as far as Brunson though. I mean, Brunson gonna get it because guess what? He had the biggest pressure on him to come here on a something year drought, and he came to New York when a lot of when a lot of big time players don't want to come here. They shy away from the pressure, and he wanted the pressure, so he's gonna get a lot of love for that. Guess what?
Don't forget the money he did. $113 million. And that's why, like, to NYG's point, I get it. That's all pushing him up because he's sacrificing. So, you know, but you know, I mean, in the end, NYG.
There ain't really no argument. There's no argument because, like I said, his 1 championship is going to equal those 2 championships that Knicks got in the 70s.
It will, and it's not fair, but it will, bro.
All I care about right now is
a ring.
Get one. Yeah, come on. I mean, get one before you can have one of these. And for those who don't know, this is a dynasty ring. This is a 3-year. This is a 3-year series of championships. So,
and the Spurs, man. I mean, just looking at the Spurs, man. I mean, they're gonna have to rebound in game 2. So we're gonna see. I don't think this series is over yet. You know, we don't want to count your tickets before they hatch, as they say. Or whatever.
No. It's game 1 is done. It's on to game 2. That's all that matters right now.
Let me ask you something. If the Knicks take game 2, then what?
Then you might be looking at a gentleman's sweep.
He said, like, coach, you gonna make it?
What did I say? Yesterday?
You're right.
I said a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. But then you could say they could definitely sweep them or close them out in 5. I think the Knicks, whatever they do, they want to win that chip at the Garden. So again, if it goes 6, game 6 is at the Garden, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, or like Cave said, if they manage to get game 2, maybe you just want to go ahead and sweep them and close them out.
If you get game 2,
that way you get that game. That way you get that chip at the, because New York's gonna go fucking crazy, bro.
Here's the question: if New York can get number 2, because the Spurs are a young team, can that put undue pressure on them because they know they're coming to New York and they want to feel like we got to get one?
The Knicks
and
get
being
game
a young
2,
team,
they probably gonna get swept because you got to think the environment they're gonna be coming into when they're going to
no support. They're gonna get no support.
It's to a Lions den, bro.
Right, they're gonna get.
But here's the other thing: you're looking at New York, what they've done the previous 2, because you're gonna. This is the psychological aspect. They're like, damn, they swept Philly, they swept Cleveland. Now they got 2 on us. If they can get game 2, now they got 2 on us, and we got to go to New York now. And it's like that's what I mean by like you're gonna put pressure on yourself.
And those little young kids, those bright-eyed little dudes, are gonna be like, oh.
The only one on that team, the only 2 on that team, I will say, can handle New York. To be honest with you, Campani and Harper, because they're from the area.
Castle's from the area too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
New York.
That's my boy. That's his nephew. He's from Queens. I mean, his nephew's from Queens. That's Stacey Castle's son. That's Stacey Castle. Stacey Castle played, of course, with Tim Duncan and Randolph Childress back in the day.
I remember.
From Fort Rockaway, Queens.
Well, look, I just game 2. That's all I'm worried about right now. Game 2.
But Castle he played his high school ball in Georgia though, in Covington. But I mean, his family is from New York.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be a challenge if they go in there and beat them. I think you're looking at a possible sweep because, like I said, the Knicks want to win that chip, and I know they do. I know deep down they do. Now they'll take it in San Antonio. You take what you can get, but I know winning that chip at the Garden is gonna mean something to that city.
York then, right? You come to New York.
Hey, I talked to Cave about it. If I could, I would, I would, bro. I swear to God, I would, bro. I would, man. If I could, man. Because
if you do, let me know because you got. I got. You can slay on my couch, bro.
I'm gonna need somebody's couch to lay on, bro. After that party, bro, because that's gonna be a wild one, man. Yeah, man. But I look, man. For me, it's about New York. I love this city. I got it. It's tatted on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I'm passionate about that. You know, Liberty won. Okay, cool. You know, let's basketball is New York. New York is a basketball town. You know, we love the Giants, we love the Yankees, but it's a basketball town. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And can't nobody deny that. You know, I grew up there. You grew up there. We all, you know what I'm saying? So you can't deny that. So winning in basketball means more than anything to this city. You know, I would have loved for the Nets to get it done with KD, but they fucked that up. So we got to depend on the Knicks to do it. You know, so yeah, to me, it's about the city and it's about bringing a championship in basketball
right to the Mecca, right?
To New York, you know, and it's going to do wonders for the NBA because the NBA is much better when the Knicks are good. Lakers, Celtics, you know, it's iconic teams. They do real well with those. Celtics is down, Lakers is down. Yeah, it's time for the Knicks to get it. Let them shine.
We have to share our revenue with the rest of the league because the Knicks making billions of dollars right now.
When the floor seat, when one floor seat is $200,000, one floor seat. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. Now that's out of pocket. That might go on the money out of pocket. Them fucking ticket prices, that's out of pocket.
That's mortgage.
That's out of pocket.
Mortgage.
Yeah,
mortgage.
That's out of pocket now. In this economy, that's out of pocket. Y'all wrong for that. Y'all wrong for that shit.
If people are willing to pay it, it ain't out of pocket.
Because it's a stadium full of celebrities, coach. That's why they can afford.
Well, what do you think will happen in LA with the? I don't want to say the Coliseum, whatever they call it now.
It's the same thing in LA.
They sell exactly. So.
Mm-hmm.
Nosebleeds like $4,000 now to get in the game. 4,000.
Man, who doing that, yo? Who doing that? A celebrity? Somebody got money to burn? You know what I'm saying? That's why they all up there at the front row, hanging out. You know.
Blaze said it. Blaze said it.
The cheapest ticket now for the game 3.
Let
$6
the Knicks.
grand.
I'm telling you right now. Don't let the Knicks get game 2. That 6,000 is probably going to be 10.
Oh.
That 6 is probably going to be 10. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we can't afford that.
I'll go to the parade. That's free. But
right.
I can't do the game, bro. Oh no. I ain't been at Madison Square Garden game in a long time because of the ticket prices. When we go to games, we go to the Barclays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of people.
Even the Knicks fans, if they want to watch the Knicks, they go watch when they play the Nets. So
why do you think Knicks fans go to Philly or go down to ATL?
Right, it's cheaper.
Like that? Yeah, I get it. It's cheaper.
Mm-hmm. It remind me when I went to Cleveland and watched the Giants play. Man, I was front row for $30, bro. Chilling on the field. I could high five. This one, they had OBJ. I almost high five that motherfucker. I was so Yeah, bro. Cleveland. It's gonna go back to that now too. So next time the Giants play Cleveland, you might see me back up there. Tickets gonna be dirt cheap. Boy, they bad. But yeah, man. So we're gonna close out, man. But appreciate you tapping in, Cave. Again, shout out to the Knicks. Knicks getting a dub tonight, 105-95. Pat, you back there? Where you at, bro? You fell asleep back there. Yeah, man. What's your thoughts on everything, man, we talked about?
Just remember, like a couple of months ago, I told people that the Knicks were going to be pretty good in the playoffs, and all they had to do was play tough, physical basketball, and they were one of the better teams in the league. I could have sworn I said that. I could have sworn that I said that Josh Hart is going to be a major player in this series, and he's going to have to play big boy basketball. It looks like old Pat was right. 15 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals in under 30 minutes. I think Pat might be able to talk some New York basketball too. So, once again, Karl Anthony Towns, shout out to you. You stepped up when they went down 14 points. You got a couple, I think, and ones, and you played big boy basketball. So, I told people the Knicks didn't have to worry about the Pistons. I knew the Pistons was a very young team, and they messed up against the Cavaliers of all teams. And they swept the Cavaliers. They messed up in the beginning against the Hawks, and they haven't lost since. So, like I told people before, earlier in the season, Knicks was one of the better teams in the league because of the way that they're built. And Wemby's going to have a problem if Josh Hart continues to play the way that he is doing as far as getting steals and rebounds. You're putting too much pressure on that kid and a pressure cooker. They're going to have to play double-team basketball against Jalen Brunson, switch, let Castle, let Vassell, let Champagne, let Harper, switch off with that dude. Don't let him get in the paint. And Wemby's going to have to go into the paint in order for them to get game 2. Or they're going to get swept. So, thank y'all for watching Heart of the City.
Pat, wait a minute. You ain't getting off that easy.
Uh-oh.
You ain't give me your top 5 TV sitcom dads, bro. Come on.
Y'all had some of the same people that I had. Uncle Phil was definitely up there. My number 1 would have been Rock. Rock was one of the realest shows that you would ever watch, and they took him off TV because he was actually talking about things in the community to better the community, like getting drugs and everything. Like that show was actually dope, and there's some very dope actors in that show. A couple of guys that I would mention. The dude from Boy Meets World, the dad of Corey Matthews' father of Boy Meets World. Dan Connor of Roseanne. He was pretty good.
Okay.
And you guys mentioned the ones that I would have mentioned. You know, Sanford and Son, Carl Winslow, very, very good dad. Cosby Show, I think that's the all-time greatest dad and the all-time greatest mom. Each side was the truth in that show. Yeah, there's a lot of dads out there that there's hundreds of them when you think about it.
Exactly.
Those are the prime ones.
It's
Y'all
tough.
come up with some tough subjects, bro.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite though is Rock, because he was the realest one. And Uncle Phil was pretty real too.
Yeah, I had Uncle Phil 1. Rock was 3 though, but yeah, Rock had to make my top 5. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And he was very underrated. Like a lot of people don't remember that show.
Y'all ain't have Good Times? Y'all have
No, I had James Evans. I had James Evans at number 2 on my list.
Actually, James Evans was pretty real too, and that's why they got rid of him, because J.K. and them wanted more clout on that show. You can look up the history on it, but the realest fathers was Uncle Phil, because that's a real situation. Rock was the realest, and James Evans was one of the realest too, being in that ghetto and Florida Evans and all them, and he had to be a tough dad, fighting for jobs and such, and that really did go down back in those times, black fathers back then. So yeah, I mean, that's a real subject, man. A lot of us who grew up didn't have fathers in the home. You know, they looked up to those guys back in the day, and they stripped us of that and started making these other shows and everything that didn't portray black fathers as strong figures in the house. So that's dope, man. But
yeah, man.
Yeah, I do really well, man.
All right, man. Take us out, Pat, man. We are done with Heart of the City 129, man. A good show, man.
Right. This has been Heart of the City. Thank y'all for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button for all these great content creators that you see on the screen. Shout out to Man Cave for holding down. His Knicks are 3 wins away from the NBA championship, man. Who knows, man? But this is Heart of the City. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all on the next one. Maybe 1:30. Peace.